How to stop mind chatter. In this video, I'm going to reveal the most powerful technique I have ever learned to completely stop mind chatter from having any power over you again. The best part is this inner spaciousness technique is easy to apply to your life once you know about it. And you're not going to find it anywhere else. This is a lifesaver. When you know this amazing technique to completely stop mind chatter, you will finally experience this liberation and freedom from the chaoticness that being in the out-of-controlled mind causes, and actually begin to harness friendship with your mind instead of seeing it as an enemy. When your mind chatter is a problem for you, it can cause suffering, limitation, frustration, sadness. But it doesn't have to be this way for you anymore. Once you know this technique I'm going to share with you in this video, so you're going to want to watch until the end, because this one technique can transform your life in a big way. Hi, it's Melanie again from the channel where we show you exactly how to use your mind to manifest the life you want. Serene awareness. So if you're ready to learn this amazing technique, put your hands on your heart and connect with your mind and body and type ready in the comments box, and let's get into it. So we all know how annoying and frustrating mind chatter can feel to us, because the mind is creating an experience of unpleasant thoughts and feelings within us, and that's what's making us feel really terrible inside. But the real problem is not your mind. Your mind isn't the problem. It's about knowing how to create space between you and your mind. Your mind is not broken or wrong or bad. You just need to engage with it differently by bringing this inner spaciousness technique I'm about to share with you now. When your mind feels wonderful or blissful, it's not a problem for you, right? You don't want to stop your mind then. The problem you want to get rid of is the cause of the suffering. And that is not your mind itself, but how you actually engage with your mind. So the question is, what's causing this unpleasant reaction? This suffering is caused by fixating or hyper-focusing on thoughts that overwhelm you and pull you into a negative spiral in the mind, which then you normally have a very tense, strong reaction against, instead of being able to expand and create the necessary space between you and your mind that you need to. Most people tend to fixate and then feed into the negativity, which is the cause of the suffering in the first place. It pulls you into the mind and it takes you here and everywhere else that the mind wants to go, and literally creates like a negative thought loop that you then become trapped into. When a negative thought pattern happens and you react to it, you essentially get pulled into the mind chatter, and it sways you and pulls you in all of its directions that it wants to take you in. And you become so fixated on it that it's hard to see anything outside. It's hard to see anything else, because it has you in its loop, in its spiral, and you become kind of fixated, tunnel visioned, so to say. Understanding this will give you a different perspective, so you will start to recognize these negative thought reaction patterns that the mind likes to trick you into going along with and pull you into its negative spiral that just spins you downward. So it's something that the great mind just tricks us, and it's something to be aware of. And once you become aware of it, you can start to change that pattern. So it's very, very powerful. So I'm going to explain how to do that through the video. So this fixation is the cause of the suffering. But when you create a sense of inner spaciousness between you and your mind, you will start to experience a sense of freedom. Fixation is being in a nightmare and not knowing that you're dreaming. Whereas inner spaciousness is knowing that you're dreaming, but you don't take it seriously because you know you're just dreaming. Inner spaciousness is the most powerful practice I've ever learned to stop mind chatter and its negativity. Yet it's possibly the most simplest technique you can use. Inner spaciousness creates a calm space between you and your mind. It allows you this expansiveness and this room between you and your mind, so you don't get pulled into the negative spiral of mind chatter. So how do you create space between you and your mind? When your mind has been overtaken by negative thoughts, what's actually happening is that you are actually being restricted into a very tiny, narrow space. A place where you feel like there's nowhere to go, there's no room to breathe. It's like you're kind of stuck here. And so that's why we're going to want to create this inner spaciousness within us and our minds. If not, we get in the grip of the mind chatter and essentially we get sucked into it and we go along with it. So creating this inner spaciousness between ourselves and the mind is going to be the freedom and the liberation and the most powerful technique you can do. And you can do this. The hardest part about this is just remembering to practice it. So let's go. It's going to be so great. Let's go into it. So I want you to imagine you're looking out into an ocean and you see so many meteorites falling into the ocean. These meteorites represent your thoughts, okay? Next, imagine you begin to fixate on the meteorites. You start to become fixated on the meteorites, and that's all you can see. You have tunnel vision. You don't see anything else. It completely is all you see, and you fixate on the meteorites falling. You have complete tunnel vision. Now, when these thoughts hit the water, the impact from those thoughts, those meteorites, are going to cause a giant tidal wave inside you, inside your mind. That will consume you because you are so fixated on those negative thoughts in the mind chatter. But there's something you can do to quickly switch off this mode right as it starts to happen. Okay? There's a little switch that you can practice right now, starting today. No matter who you are, where you are, you can start to practice this. It's simple and easy. You just have to remember to do it. So you're going to be able to create the inner spaciousness between you and the mind chatter. So that's what we're doing here, creating inner spaciousness. Okay, so keep that in mind. So now I want you to imagine that ocean again. You're standing there looking into a calm blue ocean. This ocean represents your mind. It's as wide as can be and so calm. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to use your peripheral vision. So your peripheral vision is your vision that you don't normally use. It's kind of expanding your vision out like this way, to the left and to the right, as wide and wide and wide as you possibly can. So it's just expanding that peripheral vision. So expanding your ocean as far and as wide as you possibly can. Close your eyes and see this vast, big ocean now. It's endless. It's beyond your peripheral vision. Now again, see the meteorites, your thoughts, falling into this vast ocean now, which is your mind. But see these thoughts falling as tiny pebbles into the calm, vast ocean, creating little, tiny ripples. Because the ocean, your mind, is so vast, it's so spacious, it's beyond your peripheral vision, it's so vast and big that these thoughts, these meteorites coming in now, just hit the water and create little ripples instead of giant tidal waves that restrict you and limit you and pull you into the negative mind chatter when you are restricted with no place to think, no place to go, just completely fixated in tunnel vision. So instead of having this tunnel vision, you have this giant expansion of inner spaciousness to allow the thoughts to come in and be just little ripples in your mind instead of giant ripples. So that is the practice of inner spaciousness. It's such a simple practice, but it's so powerful and it's so effective. It has been one of the superpowers of my life to use. When you are connected and aware of the vastness of your mind, you are still aware of your thoughts. It's just that they are tiny and insignificant compared to the expansion now of your mind, your ocean, so to say. This creates inner spaciousness between you and your mind. When you're practicing this technique, you'll want to say these two words, inner spaciousness, as you practice this technique. Just bring up the words and say it to yourself. Inner spaciousness, inner spaciousness, inner spaciousness. In a short time, you're going to see the amazing power of this simple practice and how it stops mind chatter in its tracks. And just by mentioning these two words, inner spaciousness, it will put your mind at ease and you will not be at the mercy of mind chatter anymore. You may think, oh, this is too simple, it's not going to work. But it's usually these simple practices that are so profound in their teachings that for some reason we cannot tap into. This information I'm sharing with you today is from a sage, a brilliant, profound teacher that I attended a 5-day retreat. And on the last day, this was the big takeaway. So inner spaciousness is a profound teaching and it will be a lifesaver for you. We all know how misery follows us when we become in the grip of mind chatter. So I hope that you will practice this. And the hardest part about this practice is just remembering to do it. So just remember to do it, and in a short time you will be able to just recall the word or recall the ocean experience, and right on the onset of mind chatter you will be able to stop it in its tracks. you'll be able to create this inner spaciousness within yourself and be able to see your thoughts just become like little tiny ripples instead of giant tidal waves in your mind that consume you and drag you down with them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will practice this amazing, life-changing, transformational technique.